I call this meeting to order. This is the 89th meeting of the Standing Committee on Finance. Orders of the day pursuant to the order of reference of Tuesday, October 30th, 2012, continuing our study of Bill C-45, a second act to implement certain provisions of the budget tabled in Parliament on March 29, 2012, and other measures. Colleagues, we have two panels with us here this afternoon, early evening. In our first panel, we have the first organization is the Bank of Canada. The second organization is Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters. We have the Certified General Accountants Association of Canada, the Public Service Alliance of Canada, and we have TSGI Chartered Accountants. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us here this afternoon. We will now hear from TSGI Chartered Accountants, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. By way of introduction, I'd like to make a few comments about my background as it relates to SR&ED and R&D funding. I have more than 30 years as a chartered accountant with a computer science degree and an MBA. In the past, I was a full-time faculty member at the University of Calgary and taught the most recent Institute of CAs in Alberta SR&ED courses. The past 10 years of my practice, which consists of my practice has consisted of about 10 qualified scientists and CAs who focus solely on the SR&ED area to both multinational corporations as well as small corporations, mostly in Western Canada. I believe I have a unique multidisciplinary outlook on SR&ED. I'm from the trenches. I've also worked with the National Research Council's IRAP program, and our firm was the company that submitted the first successful shale gas technology claim in Canada. I've served as the inaugural chairman of the Joint CRA Industry Information Technology Oversight Committee for the SR&ED Prairie region, and I'm an active participant as an angel investor in Western Canada, both through direct investments and also a membership in Venture Alberta, which is reputed to be one of the most active venture forums in Canada. And this provides me with further insight into the technology startup community. To begin with, I would like to summarize the overall impact we anticipate the changes proposed in Bill C-45 will have on SR&ED performers at the ground level. Our company has gone through a detailed modeling process to simulate the SR&ED impact of the 2012 budget on our clients, which should be considered to be a cross-section of Western Canadian companies. We did this because the microeconomic nuances of how policy decisions affect individual organizations are not always visible from a macroeconomic viewpoint. Our conclusion is that Canadian-controlled private corporations, or CCPCs, are likely to experience a 5 to 10% reduction in investment tax credits, whereas non-CCPCs, those are the big ones, can expect more drastic reductions in the order of 30 to 40%. The industry consensus communicated to us both by our clients and by contacts is that the reductions in the SR&ED benefits will unquestionably reduce their overall ability and willingness to conduct research in Canada and, well, reduce jobs, and this should be a concern for all Canadians. I'm also particularly concerned about the impact of the proposed changes on the energy industry, which will have effects nationwide. The implications can be extrapolated to numerous industrial sectors in Canada over the long term. The primary story of oil and gas in Canada is no longer a story of wildcat wells and exploration uncertainties. It is primarily a technology story, that is, of using new technology to unlock unconventional resources that were previously inaccessible. This fundamental shift is highlighted by the fact that in 2010, oil sands production overtook conventional oil as the leading production method in Canada with 51.9% of production. The technology needed to turn unconventional resources into producible reserves and a contribution to our GDP is extraordinarily sophisticated and extraordinarily expensive, with sourcing requirements that reach beyond Alberta's borders. Every day we see Canadian energy companies taking enormous risks to develop new technology. The largest spenders in oil and gas research are most commonly in the non-CCPC category, and they will be the hardest hit by the reduction in investment tax credits. In particular, the reduction in the general ITC rate from 20 to 15% and the elimination of capital expenditures will severely impact these organizations. In our view, the impact that these changes will have on the energy industry warrants reevaluation of the proposed policy changes. We believe that public innovation policy is best delivered with in an indirect form, which organically results in leveraging industries where Canada has a natural advantage in the ability to develop, commercialize, and exploit technology. There are few other industries in Canada that have such advantages as we do in the energy sector. We are world leaders now, and we need to stay there to protect Canada's economic future. Thank you. We need to enhance our competitiveness in this increasingly technological field to build world champions. Reductions to the SR&ED program will dramatically alter the positive path we are currently on in the energy industry, along with many sectors that industry impacts. Lastly, I'd like to comment on the critical issue of how the proposed changes will affect jobs in Canada. R&D performers in Western Canada tell us that they will react to the concerns outlined above by reducing their research efforts in Canada. This has already started to happen. Research capital is highly liquid, and these companies are not afraid to redistribute their funds to other jurisdictions. They also recognize that we are locked in a global war for talented innovators, and they must either initially attract and then keep our innovators in Canada or go to where these individuals are. We are deeply concerned that the net effect of the proposed SR&ED changes will be the loss of high-value innovation jobs. This will have significant and long-term negative effects on our global competitiveness. Thank you for this opportunity.